Media Home presents the News Hour at 10 with Arnab Goswami.
And taking the debate forward with Asaduddin Owaisi, President and Member of Parliament of the AIMIM, who's facing off on the Newshour debate tonight on the Uniform Civil Code with Nalin Kohli, Advocate and National Spokesperson of the BJP. This debate will continue, then we'll expand the panel and the panel will join us. But first, between these two gentlemen, welcome Mr. Kohli and Mr. Owaisi. It's good to see you after some time. I don't know if you heard some of the introductory comments of Mr. Jaitley. Now, Mr. Owaisi, I want to start with you, Mr. Owaisi, and then we'll take it forward. I hope you can hear me. Mr. Owaisi, am I clear and audible to you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. If I can increase Mr. Owaisi's audio, please, a bit. Okay. Mr. Owaisi, let me start with a broader question, because I am a little perplexed at the opposition to the Uniform Civil Code on logical terms, not on religious terms, not on rhetoric. Mr. Owaisi, every citizen of India is allowed to practice the religious rituals on the basis of their faith, and Article 25 protects every citizen to do exactly this. Now, you must agree with me at the start that when it comes to fundamental rights, sir, it is the law and it is the Indian Constitution that protects every citizen of it. Therefore, if you do agree with this premise, Mr. Owaisi, if someone's fundamental rights are being infringed on, the Constitution and the law should be protecting it, not one's religion. How is it the business of any religious groups or people like Asaduddin Owaisi to protect a citizen when it comes to fundamental rights? It's only going to be the Constitution. So I first want to begin on whether you accept the premise of the supremacy of the Constitution. Mr. Owaisi, please.
Well, I have taken oath on the Indian Constitution, so has Mr. Jaitley and every member of Parliament. But please remember that the Constitution has fundamental rights and directive principles. Your today's program debate is on Uniform Civil Code under Article 44, that is a directive principle of the Constitution. So fundamental rights will always be above directive principles, whether it is right to equality, right to freedom of religion. But let me point out to you, I heard Mr. Jaitley's interview with you, and he was very clear in saying that if a uniform civil code comes into existence, the Hindu undivided family tax rebates will not go. Now, isn't that contravening the fundamental right to equality? That a tax rebate benefit is available to the Hindus, but it is not available to non-Hindus. That is infringement of fundamental right of equality. That is an clear violation of right to religion, equality before law. That is the main question. And please remember that this whole debate on Uniform Civil Code has nothing to do with gender justice. This is clearly a device to impose Hindu Rashtra in India. This is what is happening with beef, and this is what is going to happen with the construction of Ram Mandir. Because Muslims have to be told that you're a second-class citizen over here. This is what Golwalkar said, and you should be disciplined. Now, if that is the case, can the BJP say categorically, in Goa, whatever law is there which allows Roman Catholics and the non-Roman Catholics to get married according to their religious laws, that will be taken off? If you talk about Uniform Civil Code, can this government give a clear commitment that the protection given to Nagas and Mizos, we have given them safeguard that their cultural rights will be protected? This government is afraid to even bring into public realm the framework of Naga agreement. Even Times Now does not have a copy of that. You might be having copies of various documents, but you don't have a copy of that
We are
agreement.
straying now.
Third point. No, please listen to me. Nalin, let us have a debate. Don't intervene. I will not intervene.
That was me. That was not Nalin. So yeah, one sec. That was me, Arnab. Yeah, continue. But don't stray from the subject. That's all.
No, I am, Arnab, see, the premise of your question has to be answered, and please allow me to answer that. Now, Mr. Jaitley has not said that within Hindu system you have the Mitakshara and the Dayabaga school. What will happen to that inheritance? Now you talk about now you talk about gender justice. 2011 census clearly says 1 crore 20 lakh girls got married at the age of 10, sorry. And 84% were not Muslims, they were Hindus. Now, can this government talk about gender justice and this data is staring in front of you?
I'd say, Mr. Owaisi, can I intervene? I just want to take the debate forward, so get everyone in. But I want to also remind you, you're a lawyer. You know that Article 14 and Article 21 in Part 3 of the Constitution of India gives women fundamental rights of equality. Nobody, no religious body can take it away, point number one. Point number two, if someone is saying that it is my freedom to practice religion, yes it is. The Constitution protects you to do it. But how does that allow, Mr. Owaisi, anyone to justify legally to infringe upon somebody else's constitutionally protected rights? And Mr. Owaisi, today when you spoke, you have confused two issues. You appear to have confused the question of rituals with the questions of rights. Because you also said, and you said now, will you stop marriage rituals in the way they are on now? Will you stop taking Sat Feras? Mr. Owaisi, that was never the issue. Are you trying to mislead the people of India? Are you trying to mislead the public, Mr. Owaisi? Especially, are you trying to mislead the Muslim public by saying that the Uniform Civil Code will intrude upon marital situations, when the question here is entirely about laws of marriage, inheritance, succession and so forth, not of rituals? You are fear-mongering, Mr. Owaisi. I'm sorry, but with the greatest of respect to you, you are fear-mongering. And I don't know what is your motivation to do so.
Are you done?
Yes.
I know, I am, thank you for giving me that respect. Now, please let me refresh your great memory of yours. Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Right? There is the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Now, according to the Hindu Marriage Act, marriage is what? Marriage is a sacrament. And when you come to Muslims, what is a marriage? A marriage is a contract. Now, doesn't the Hindu Marriage Act says, Mr. Arnab Goswami, that the marriage is valid if the marriage, if one of the parties declares that he believes in Hinduism? Now, now can you differentiate rituals from them?
No.
Now, please understand, you talk about fundamental. I don't need to get your point. I have to say what my point is. You are jolly well, you have all the right to disagree with me, but I have my fundamental right to freedom of expression, and that is that this government has got its priorities wrong.
Responding.
You talk about directive principle of 44.
Responding.
But you forget about directive principle of 39C. Let me read 39C, Arnab.
Sir, let me read 13.
That the
let me read 13.
Let me read 39C first, then we'll come to Article 13. 39C says that the operation of economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment. Why did you do a program on Vijay Mallya? Why did you do a program on Times Now, which I agree with you, that was a good thing to do, that there are many industrialists who owe 20,000, 30,000 crores to our nationalized banks.
Unrelated subjects.
Article 39F. The children are given opportunities and facilities to develop and healthy. You know, this government brings a legislation which allows
opening the debate.
Their family business.
I need to open the debate. Nalin Kohli responding now. The debate is between Mr. Owaisi. Much as I am tempted to, the debate is between you and Nalin Kohli. Nalin Kohli's counter to you, sir. Hear each other carefully, viewers. The hashtag is One Nation, One Law. On this live debate tonight, you can give us your views on which side is winning, Mr. Kohli or Mr. Owaisi. Yes, Mr. Kohli's response. And by the way, Mr. Kohli, 1 minute. let me ask you this squarely, because the question here is about the true idea of secularism, which means, Mr. Kohli, no preferential treatment but treating all faiths equally. So, Mr. Kohli, A, will you commit that a uniform civil code will mean the rewriting of the Hindu Marriage Act of 1956, Hindu Succession Act of 1956, Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act of 1956, Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act of 1956, despite amendments and progressive steps taken to improve upon them all over the years? And how would you, Mr. Kohli, address the argument that the template, I think what you need to do is convince Mr. Owaisi tonight and a lot of people tonight that the template of the Hindu code, you see, if it is to be a uniform civil code, then the template of the Hindu code should not be used as the template for the uniform civil code for all Indians. Please also address that question. Mr. Kohli, please, that question and the counters, please, as you wish, to take one first.
So I'll start with a few opening comments, then get into some counters, and I'll certainly answer that.
I need to check the audio. I'm sorry. I need to urgently. Sorry. 1 second. We need to fix this one-on-one debate. Please start again, sir. Sorry, we had an audio problem. Go ahead, Mr. Kohli. Go on.
Yes, are you okay with the audio?
Yeah, fine now. Go on.
If you're okay, I'll just like to make a few arguments. Thank you. So, Mr. Goswami, I'm going to start with a few fundamental questions, not fundamentalist questions, and then I'm going to take this to the next level in terms of what are the counters and then answer your question head on. So, let's go to the very top. The Constitution of India, after the Constitutional Assembly, goes ahead, it's adopted by this country in 1950. Adopted absolutely totality. That's the Constitution of India, which creates an identity for every Indian irrespective of their faith. This constitution has its own rights, duties, directive principles, etc., etc. That Constitution of India offers, and we have spoken about the rights of equality, Article 21, Article 14, you've referred to Article 13 as Mr. Jaitley has. So the question here comes out fundamentally, that when you have a constitution, and in that constitution you do have also Article 14 and you have the directive principles of state policy, Article 44, can anyone, any Indian, say that I will choose a part of the constitution because I like it, it's convenient to me, it fits in the scheme of how I think, and say the B part of it, even if it's a desirable objective, I'm not going to accept, I'm going to reject, I don't wish to talk about it, I need to discard it. I think this is an insult to the constitution. I think it is disservice to every Indian, irrespective whether that Indian is a Hindu, Muslim or anyone, in 1950 who chose to be part of a secular country.
No, so how does this apply in the context of what Mr. Owaisi has said? How is what you're saying? What are you accusing Mr. Owaisi of? Are you saying that Mr. Owaisi is disregarding a part of the constitution? Please address the gentleman who you are on the debate with. No, what is your point? Are you responding to him? Please address him directly.
Clearly saying so. My point is unequivocal, clear, focused, that Mr. Owaisi, under Article 19, which he claims has the right to speak his mind, within reasonable restrictions, of course, but at the same time, you can't discard the existence of Article 44, which says that the state shall move towards making a uniform civil code. And even before the very articles that they claim about or anyone argues about, the Constitution's preamble, which is the opening statement of the Constitution, that intent is unequivocal when it speaks about justice, liberty, equality of status and opportunity. So, Mr. Goswami, why are we in this discussion? This discussion about uniform civil code comes because primarily today in the Supreme Court there is a petition on the triple talaq. The triple talaq petition is not brought by the BJP, not brought by the Modi government, not brought by any one of us, the RSS or anyone. It's brought by women from the Muslim community who say that this practice of triple talaq, as it is being followed in India, goes against the spirit of Article 14. And they point out that Muslim countries in the neighborhood, beyond the neighborhood, have already brought in rights that protect women. So therefore, this uniform civil code is a larger discussion. Is there a law today? What is the detail of that law to be? Will not Parliament talk about it? But what do we have? We have a situation where the All India Muslim Personal Law Board goes out, demonizes the government, demonizes the Prime Minister, trashes the Law Commission, says we will not be a part of it, we will not respond to it. The basic fundamental question is that in a democracy, should there be no discussion? In a democracy, if you believe by democratic ideals, are you going to run down even an advisory body like the Law Commission just because you feel that you would not like to discuss something that is enshrined in the objectives in terms of what is desirable for the country in the Constitution? So I think what Mr. Owaisi and many of his colleagues are trying to do are trying to create a khichdi situation or a
khichdi situation, but he says that you are trying to do. No, he says it's backdoor entry for the Hindu Rashtra.
Confuse everything.
He says you answer the question here right now. He says it's a backdoor entry for the Hindu Rashtra. If it is a backdoor entry for the Hindu Rashtra, you are definitely avoiding that issue. I can also argue on bits and parts of the Constitution, Mr. Kohli.
And why should there be?
Why should there be? Why should there be? Because you're not answered my question in the first place.
Straight head on.
No.
India's identity is unequivocally secular as defined by the Constitution of India. And that Constitution of India creates an Indian identity. I may be a Hindu, Sanatan Hindu, whatever. Mr. Owaisi may be a Muslim. A third person can be anything. But our identity as an Indian comes first. And that identity flows from the Constitution. Our other identities are subsumed into that primary identity as an Indian. And if you are having an identity as an Indian first, then there has to be the basic commitment that the Constitution of India
Mr. Owaisi, far from picking the bait, Nalin Kohli has thrown the ball back into your court. And he is asking you to argue on the basis of what is in the Constitution. You are, of course, a politician and accomplished at making things political. Since he draws it back to the Constitution, you have a choice to respond to him. But my question to you will be, I request you, sir, not to skirt it when I talk about Article 13, Article 25, etc. Mr. Owaisi, Article 13 of the Indian Constitution says that all laws in force in India immediately before the commencement of this constitution, insofar as they are inconsistent with the provisions of the Act, shall to the extent of such inconsistency become void. You can't tell me you don't know this article. Now, Mr. Owaisi, come to the point. If religion-based personal laws, including Muslim personal laws, rob and deprive citizens of their fundamental rights, for example, by discriminating on the basis of their religion before a court of law, which is in direct contradiction to Article 14, what was the legal basis for it to exist? So, according to Section 2 of the Muslim Personal Law Sharia Application Act 1937, which you defend, the rule of decision in cases where the parties are Muslim shall be the Muslim Personal Law Sharia. Mr. Owaisi, if something under this 1937 law infringes upon the personal liberty of a 14-year-old child, then according to Article 13 of the Indian Constitution, the 1937 law should be abrogated. Please argue logically on this, sir. Clearly, the political argument of yours has not worked. Yes, sir.
No, fine. It has not worked. It has not worked with you. I'm not here to convince you. The people are watching. They'll be convinced. So, stop patronizing me. Now, the point is, Mr. Jaitley himself has said that there is a Bombay High Court judgment. He has also said that he disagrees with that judgment. This issue is pending in Supreme Court. And I am sure this matter which is pending in Supreme Court will be referred to a larger constitutional bench, because that is how it should be dealt with. Now you talk about fundamental rights. Of course, fundamental rights overrule directive principle. That is my basic argument, that the fundamental rights are above the directive principles. Now this government is completely forgotten fundamental rights. They talk about beef. They talk about things which is of political convenience to them, and that is Uniform Civil Code. Why not the directive principle of Article 47, Nalin Kohli? You have empirical data of 1 lakh people dying every year in India. This is not told by me, but by your own transport minister. Why don't you impose prohibition? Why can this BJP government say categorically, fine, I agree with Mr. Goswami's argument. You are going into election in Goa. Say very clearly. No, let me complete. I know, I'm sure you will answer or not answer. In Goa, you say very clearly that the law of marriage which exists in Goa, BJP will remove it. Say very clearly to the electorate of Punjab when you are going to go to elections, that you will impose uniform civil code, and whatever the Akal Takht or the Sikhs have in the law will be taken away. Let it be clear. And also I am thankful to Mr. Goswami and to the BJP for bringing in this debate of uniform civil code, because you have united majority of Indians, you have united the Muslims who were getting divided on the lines of Hanafi, Ahle Hadith and Shia. I am thankful to you for that.
Okay, Nalin Kohli will respond. I have a counter to both after that. Nalin Kohli.
Now may I come in, Mr. Goswami?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. First of all, since I was first part on the constitutional side, I'll answer that. Well, Mr. Owaisi, it's not a coincidence. The Constitution is a deliberated, clear document in which the preamble speaks of equality, and Article 14, equality, precedes Article 25, which you do. And you're right, the directive principles of state policy follow the fundamental rights. So who's arguing with that? By your argument, I think you need to understand that equality is a much higher value than it would come in terms of a identity which follows the identity of an Indian. The second point you're saying is fear mongering. I think Mr. Goswami, both of us will compliment him. Mr. Goswami has made the charge on you that you are fear mongering. That's what exactly you're doing. I think the debate here is more about an Indian identity, about Indians and about the guarantees under the Constitution rather than fear mongering. That's why I said this is the khichdi politics. Put in everything there, mix it up, try to create confusion, because then a logical debate can't follow. My third point is at a human level. Let's move beyond the Constitution. Mr. Owaisi may or may not have a sister, a real sister by birth, but he may or may not have a daughter, he may or may not have a wife, but he's certainly going to have a mother as everybody else. So the question that fundamentally follows is that should not a man or a woman by the Constitution have equal rights?
Arnab,
and can there be anything that would come in the way of denying one segment of the population rights?
1 second, Mr. Kohli. Mr. Kohli, don't put it as a I don't want
Arnab, allow me. Allow
1 second. Can I intervene and then you come in, Mr. Kohli?
No, this is not to cross decency.
1 second. 1 second.
Mr.
Kohli, I am allowing a rebut by Asaduddin Owaisi. I am allowing a rebut by Mr. Owaisi as the right to rebut. He has the right to rebut. He has the right to rebut. Go on, Mr. Owaisi.
I will reply, Arnab. I will reply in the same indecent way which Mr. Kohli has just now crossed the limits of
No personal arguments, sir.
This is the problem with Hindutva forces. You don't have an argument, you become intellectually dishonest and you make a personal attack. Arnab, can I remind Mr. Honorable Kohli, you talk about my daughter and my sister. Where is the Prime Minister's wife?
No, Mr. Owaisi, Mr. Owaisi, you see, the problem is, Mr. Owaisi, no, 1 sec, Mr. Owaisi, now at this point, no, this has to stop. You come back to the subject. No, I am intervening at this point. Can I please, gentlemen, come in between both of you? And I'm making one point. Can I ask both sides to be quiet for a minute? 1 second, we request both sides to be quiet for a minute, and I request you to be quiet for a minute. And no, we were having a fantastic argument. Sorry, no, 1 second. 1 second, Nalin, now wait a while, okay?
Not at all.
Wait, can I request both the gentlemen, distinguished gentlemen, be quiet for a while?
No,
just Mr. Owaisi, now as an anchor, I'm requesting both of you. I'm making a genuine request to both sides tonight. I'm requesting both of you. I was actually enjoying this debate greatly because I think intellectually solid arguments being presented on both sides is good. Now, I would like to make a point out here. Mr. Owaisi, now Mr. Kohli, to you please. I know you meant it as an argument. No, 1 second, 1 minute, just a minute. Mr. Owaisi, may I come in? Mr. Owaisi, I want to go back to the subject.
I don't come to your program. I don't go to any program
Owaisi,
wherein someone talks about my daughter.
No, Mr. Owaisi, now, can I come in out here? Can I come in out here? 1 second. Yeah, Mr. Kohli, let us go back to the subject at hand. Mr. Owaisi,
I am sorry, no.
Mr. Owaisi, now, can I say something? Can I say something to you? Can I say something here?
What kind of discussion
Can I say something here, Mr. Owaisi? I didn't say anything, so 1 second.
Let me end
No,
this
Mr.
discussion
Kohli, you
and
have to be
argument in a
quiet.
minute.
Mr. Kohli, you have to be quiet. Mr. Kohli, I request you. I need to take this debate forward. Mr. Owaisi, you must wait. Mr. Owaisi, no, Mr. Owaisi. Mr. Kohli, you must wait. Mr. Kohli, you must wait. No, Mr. Kohli.
I'm saying it on the record. May I just finish my point, Mr. Kohli? Mr. Goswami, just hear me out. Mr. Goswami, I'm saying it with sincerity and with honesty. I did not mean this argument. I did not mean it as any kind of indecency or this. If Mr. Owaisi, even incorrectly, and I'm saying it, misconstrues it, I apologize for it because it's not meant to be that.
Okay. Now
so therefore, Mr. Owaisi knows that I don't make personal attacks. I will not make personal attacks.
Can we move on now from that point?
If Mr. Owaisi feels that, I apologize.
Okay.
Because it was not meant to be in that manner.
Now, gentlemen,
he has probably misunderstood it. But let it rest. Why let it
now, Mr.
I'll turn the argument onto myself and say, I can put the same words for myself and it won't lead to anything else.
Mr. Kohli, now listen to me. Listen to me. I want to go back to the subject. I think you apologized. You made your point out there. I'm glad you're done because sometimes you make a point and it can be misunderstood, and in this context Mr. Owaisi has a right to object.
Because it's not meant to be.
Mr. Owaisi has a right to object. He has objected. Now both the distinguished gentlemen must allow me to bring the discussion back on track. Now let's go back to the subject, Mr. Owaisi. My question to you is, if the Sharia, and this is a question I asked on the debate day before yesterday, if the Sharia is the basis for the personal law for Muslims in India, would you, Mr. Owaisi, advocate the use of the Sharia as the basis of criminal law as well? The fundamental question is that if we have one criminal law in this country for all Indians, and it's not in the absence of a criminal law under Sharia. If we have one criminal law in this country for all Indians, why would anyone have an objection to a uniform civil code which will have one civil law for all Indians? Either you say that we also want to use the Sharia for the criminal law. You get my point? I have never got a clear answer to this since the last 48 hours.
Listen to me. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. The consistent stand of the Muslim community since the independence is that the Muslims were given the right to practice their religion, and the Muslims have never asked. And I'm sure, listen to me, please. And in future as well, we would never ask for the criminal law aspect of Sharia to be ever implemented.
I don't understand. Fundamentally,
as an Indian, I am proud. Listen to me, please. You have all the right to disagree. I'm not here to convince you.
No, Mr. Owaisi, understand my point. Understand my point. You see, I'm on a larger point, Mr. Owaisi.
Listen to me.
Mr. Owaisi, understand my larger point.
I have the right to reply.
Yeah, but can I have a right to counter you? Can I counter you once, briefly? No, let me. Please counter me. Please counter me after a reply to the first question you have posed to me. So first answer is, Muslims will never ask for the criminal law aspect of Sharia to be ever implemented. Why would they not, and why would they do for civil law?
IPC and listen to me, please.
No, you're not answering.
Second point is that I'm answering. This country is not a theological country. This country will never become a Hindu Rashtra. This country celebrates all religion. This country has no one religion. This country celebrates thousands of cultures and languages. That is the strength of this great nation of ours, which we call India or Bharat. The strength of this country is pluralism and ethos.
Mr.
And that is why we say that uniform civil code cannot be a uniform, because a person in South India would never go around a marriage of fire. You have
but that is the point, Mr. Owaisi. Mr. Owaisi, now I must intervene to you.
No,
I must intervene and correct you at this stage, please, Mr. Owaisi. You are Mr. Kohli, wait. I go back. You see, Mr. Owaisi, now just pause your thoughts for a while. Because somewhere I believe that you got entangled in your own argument, and you please understand why I'm saying so. First point, what was my question? Why are you saying that we want the Sharia for our personal law? Because you say Muslims have their own law. Well, I just reminded you, you have your own law technically for criminal law as well, to which you said we are perfectly happy under the Indian Penal Code. Well, in that case you're not being very dogmatic about applying your criminal law, I find that strange. Point number two is the argument that we are a secular country.
You want me to be dogmatic?
No, Mr.
You want me to be dogmatic?
Mr. Owaisi, I meant that sarcastically if you don't understand. Mr. Owaisi, when the government, you have to be, Mr. Owaisi, you have to understand where I'm coming from here. Your argument is that the Uniform Civil Code will threaten the diversity of culture and religion in India. However, if you were to peacefully think about it, the Uniform Civil Code will not mean that Indians will cease to have their enshrined liberties to practice the religions and rituals of their choice. Rituals are absolutely to be carried out as per religions, but rights, where did I start? Ritual, no, Mr. Owaisi, now you have spun your own argument, and you are really, as of this minute, you have wound yourself in your own argument, because you have come back to agreeing with me that rituals are as per, rituals, Mr. Owaisi, rituals, Mr. Owaisi, 1 minute, you heard me, you know I'm going to the nub of the issue, and you are now, Mr. Owaisi, let me complete my point, you must let me complete my point. Rituals are as per your religion, but rights are as per the law. Rituals as per religion, Mr. Owaisi. Look at your papers now, because now you're looking at your papers. Rituals as per religion, rights as per the law, as per the constitution.
Arnab, I have the right to look into the papers, and you have the right to hear from one of your earpiece, one of your backroom guys.
Mr. Owaisi, now continue to. Go ahead.
Now let me ask you. Now let me ask you this question. Now let me ask you this question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If a Jain marries a Buddhist, and the rituals are performed according to the Sikh rites, is that marriage valid? Tell me, is that marriage valid according to the Hindu Marriage Act 1955? I am destroying your argument of rituals and rights.
No, Mr. Owaisi, you're confused now.
I am telling you.
Now you're confused.
Please ask. No, I'm not at all confused. Stop playing these mind games. Play it with some other panelists.
No, Mr. Owaisi, you are a little confused.
But I know this.
I'll
read Sakuntala versus Nilankata, 1972. It clearly says that. And the reason I'm telling you is that you wait till Punjab elections. This Uniform Civil Code will flare up in Punjab. This Uniform Civil Code
you're resorting to a political argument.
And BJP, Arnab, this is a debate. And this is a debate wherein I have to expose you and destroy your points, and I can use political arguments, constitutional arguments, any arguments which you are inconvenienced with, and Nalin Kohli. So I don't need to learn from you the rules of debate. I know what the rules of debate are.
Don't get worked up.
I am not all getting worked up. It was the other side which you are supporting. So
may I also have a point to add?
Just one point. Since you pointed out something on cases, okay, Mr. Owaisi, and if you need to look into some more papers, please do so. But I'll tell you this: we are talking about Article 13 Constitution of India on the 1952 judgment. You referred. Mr. Owaisi, please understand this. You refer to 1952 judgment. The 1952 judgment says that the fact that Article 13 uses the expression court, custom and usage and has omitted personal law shows that the intention was not to bring personal laws under the purview of fundamental rights, which was your earlier point. But Mr. Owaisi, in a scenario like today's, can a regressive and adverse judgment from 1952 be relied on to keep personal laws away from the purview of fundamental rights when the personal laws actively try to violate Article 14, 15 and sometimes even the right to life with dignity under Article 21? And if you were to think logically today, since you are giving examples, I request you today to use your own logic and ask yourself whether the ritual of sati can be justified, whereas it takes away the right to liberty and the right to life. Under your argument, it can. Under your argument, it can. You ask any young person, any old person, anybody in India 2016, they say it won't. So your law cannot be stuck either in 1952 or 1937. You don't need to destroy my argument, Mr. Kohli, because you fell into your own trap. And now you are in the trap and you don't know how to get out.
I didn't.
I gave you a case. I gave you a case, and I'm quoting.
No one can be. No one can trap me.
Mr. You know, you are a good debater. You have, but I am telling you a case. I request you to look at State of Bombay versus Narasu Appa Mali, 1952. You'll know what I'm talking about. That is the fundamental case.
I would request you to. I would request you to read Shakuntala versus Nilankata, 1972.
Sir, you read.
Well.
Sir, you read State of Bombay versus Narasu Appa Mali and the interpretation of Article 13(3)(a).
I am telling you 72.
Sir, I'll tell you the judgment of 52 takes a sheepish approach by washing its hands of the matter of bringing personal laws under fundamental rights by conveniently saying that if customs were to be brought under the purview of fundamental rights, there wouldn't exist a separate article abolishing untouchability. Today, I think that's a safe route to take in order to skirt around the actual issue of giving precedence to basic fundamental rights over religious personal laws.
Come on, Mr. Owaisi, what are you saying? Arnab, untouchability is defined in the Constitution. It is a fundamental right. You cannot practice untouchability.
In this,
you're not doing your homework
I am really sorry.
No, you're not doing your homework
The judgment takes a sheepish approach by washing its hands off the matter by Mr. You cannot, Mr. Owaisi, you cannot skirt the issue anymore. You can't skirt the issue of giving precedence to fundamental rights over religion, personal laws.
I am not skirting, I'm answering to you directly.
Sir,
Who's running away?
Sir, you are. Okay, Nalin Kohli is rebutting you also,
please. All your wrong assessment.
That's all right. Mr. Owaisi, you read the judgment. We'll have a second debate. Mr. Nalin Kohli is responding to you as well. Mr. Nalin Kohli.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Goswami, all these judgments will get quoted before the Honorable Supreme Court at some point. There are judgments of 1997, Vishaka, there's the SR Bombay judgment which also speaks about this issue. It does come into that. So let's leave the judgments out of it for a minute. Let's get back to the basic arguments. The basic arguments beyond the points we've discussed so far is because at the end of the day, there is a petition before the Honorable Supreme Court by Muslim women who are talking about the triple talaq. Now the question that arises out of it is on what parameter they are challenging it. They are saying it is not in sync with Article 14, which is right to equality. Even before that, as I pointed out, the preamble of the Constitution clearly speaks of equality, besides justice, fraternity and liberty. Now, the point here on Article 14 and equality, that being a fundamental right, can you say that another Indian citizen, for change of a certain religion, being in a different practice, can be denied that basic inalienable right of right to equality? That's the fundamental point. The second point that's coming up here is what are they saying? That other Muslim countries have reformed their own law, brought it in sync with modern requirements. Now these ladies, as I've heard in your channel and other channel, they are not saying give us a Hindu civil code. They are saying we want to be in the Quranic tradition. We merely want what the Quran provides for us. And the Quran, they say, does not speak of the triple talaq. Now, I'm not a Muslim jurist. I'm not a Muslim. So I can't speak on it with authority. But these are Muslim women who filed the petition. And my last point is, the countries that have reformed it, that are Muslim Sharia countries that follow Muslim practice, 11 such countries, 20 such countries, are they less Islamic than the Muslim All India Muslim Law Board?
Two questions from real examples. And I hope tonight that Mr. Owaisi will not skirt the answers to them. My first simple question is, Mr. Owaisi, in 2005 the law was changed to give Hindu women the rights of inheritance so that they are not discriminated against. Did anyone come and say that you are messing around with the Hindu religion? No. Point number two, Mr. Owaisi, just to buttress the point, and you tell me today, if today a 15-year-old Muslim girl is being married off because Muslim personal laws allow it, is that a violation or not of her fundamental rights?
Water.
Is that a violation? If a 15-year-old Muslim girl is married under Muslim personal law, is it a violation of her fundamental rights?
Can I answer?
No. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a good thing?
Don't need to shout.
No. Do you think it's a good thing?
Only two.
No, to ensure you don't skirt. Yeah.
Please allow me to answer. There are judgments of high courts and supreme courts, irrespective of religion. A 15-year-old marriage has been accepted as a marriage.
Oh, a 15-year-old girl can be married off.
Secondly,
so you are supporting the marriage of a 15-year-old girl. No, for you a marriage of a 15-year-old girl is okay in 2016. A 15-year-old girl, a class 8 student, class 9 student can be married off. That's all right for you, Mr. Owaisi? I think it's fundamentally not all right. Just as it's not all right to do triple talaq, you can't marry off a... Mr. Owaisi, do you agree with the principle? Do you agree with the principle? No, I'm not done. No, I'm not done. Why? One more. Do you agree with the principle of marrying off a 15-year-old girl?
I will answer one question at one time.
Yes, sir, one question only. Do you agree with the marriage of a 15-year-old girl under Muslim personal law?
Can I humbly request you? Can I humbly request you to please allow me to answer to your barrage of questions?
One question. Do you agree with the marriage of a 15-year-old girl under Muslim personal law?
Do you know for a fact that in our law, a 16-year-old can indulge in a sexual conduct? Do you know that in our law, a 16-year-old can be charged for rape and death and assault?
No, Mr. Owaisi, no. Mr.
Do you know that 2011 census, 81 crore 20 lakh 10-year-olds have got married in India and 84% are Hindus. But because of your ambiguity about in your mind, you know, you are being intellectually dishonest over here. I don't know, I'm sure you don't have love for Muslims, but please, I am giving you data which says that 11th census, 84% of Hindu girls have got married
Mr. Owaisi,
that's not a fact.
Mr. Owaisi, sorry, I can't let that go unrebutted. No, Mr. Owaisi, no, 1 second, I can't let that go unrebutted. 1 second, Mr. Kohli, wait, I place on record one thing. No, Mr. Owaisi, you must take a response from me. No, one response. You called me intellectually dishonest. You must hear the response to that. No, you must hear the response to that. You can't. No, Mr. Owaisi, you must hear the response to that. Mr. Owaisi, listen to me. You are saying intellectual dishonesty. You are the only person I can see. I ask you, who links the age of marriage to the right to consent or the punishment for rape. No reasonable person in the world, when asked a question about the age of marriage, links it to the right of consent or the punishment for rape. No law book in this world, no rule of logic, and no thinking can link the age of marriage to the right of consent or the punishment for rape. If you want to avoid my question, say, Arnab, I want to avoid your question. But if you want to answer my question, I would say it once more. Mr. Owaisi, do you agree with a 15-year-old girl getting married under Muslim personal law? As a human being, do you agree that a class 8, class 9 student, a young girl of the age of 15 should be allowed to be married off? Answer the question and I'll cease the debate. Answer the question.
Are you done? Or you have some more questions someone is putting in your ear?
Last 10 minutes I've been asking you one question. Last 10 minutes you're avoiding one question.
No, you are not. See, unfortunately, you are not able to digest the right answers I'm giving. So now let me give you again. I'll try to make you understand and convince you. I'm sure you'll not get convinced.
Let me see you. Hope you don't avoid it once more.
Listen to me. I am not here to convince you. I am here to put forward my points in a debate. I am not here to convince Arnab Goswami, and at the end of the debate, you are not going to give me some sort of a gift. So let it be that be. Now, do you know that a 16-year-old in India can indulge in sexual relations?
Again, he avoids the question. I don't understand this.
Do you know?
I don't know why you're doing this.
Arnab,
I am asking you, do you think a 15-year-old girl should be married? Simple.
Have some patience.
Do you think a 15-year-old girl should be married?
Judgments I know court judgments are there which have accepted marriage of 15-year-old. And let me tell you another
That is where I completely disagree with you. You cannot in this country today get a 15-year-old girl married. No, you cannot, and then say it happened with her consent. I'm sorry, Mr. Owaisi. I'm sorry. Fundamental point of disagreement.
10-year-old girl from Hindu community.
Fundamental point of... Then that is also wrong. But you cannot legitimize the marriage of a 15-year-old girl, sir.
Not the Muslims.
Mr. Goswami.
The Muslims are only 14%.
Mr. Goswami.
You're losing it in statistics.
Arnab
Nalin Kohli is responding, then we'll close
You are
this.
getting uncomfortable.
I've asked you the question 5 times today, sir. 5 times I've asked you a question, and I think it goes to the nub of the issue. Nalin Kohli is responding, then we close this debate, however interesting it is. Nalin Kohli, I didn't get a response.
Mr. Goswami.
I don't need to convince you.
Mr.
I'm not here to
Goswami,
convince
first of
you.
all, Mr.
You are not a
Owaisi,
dictator that I should
perhaps
convince
in a
you.
moment of anger, passion, or being charged, Mr. Owaisi, now may I said that perhaps in that moment said something to the effect as I caught that, you don't love Muslims. I think that kind of comment should not be used. This is not a debate about loving. We all are Indians and we all may have our other identities, but it's not about disliking or liking. We all as Indians respect each other. And this is not about disliking Muslims in any way. So I think we must reject that. It must be a slip of tongue. I'll take it at that. Number 2, with regard to any practice that you say in the Hindu community or Hindu religion, child marriage or anything, what is wrong is wrong. So therefore, who's standing and defending it? But Mr. Owaisi, here's a historic opportunity in terms of the equality of man and woman to be able to say, let's walk down this track with our religious practice as in other Muslim countries, find solutions that gives the rights to our Muslim women sisters. It's an opportunity. Instead of that, what are we finding here is fear-mongering. As if the BJP, the RSS, Prime Minister Modi, everyone are out there with an agenda against the Muslims. Where is that? Our agenda is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is equality.
Closing the debate now.
There's no distinction. We believe only in the Constitution, and that's our only document on which
Closing the debate on one nation,
so
one law. We've had 2 perspectives.
Here's a historic opportunity for them. But if they want to do politics of it, that's their right.
Well, we've had a good debate on the Uniform Civil Code. Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi has thrown many compliments my way. I have not responded in turn, but he has not answered one question of mine tonight. I thank you both.
Driven by Hyundai, co-powered by Quicker Doorstep. Tonight, the debate on the News Hour at 10. Absurd religion argument against Uniform Civil Code.
Big reaction coming in from our viewers to our debate 1 and 2 on the Uniform Civil Code. But tonight there is one small section in society which is keen on promoting gender discrimination, inequality and chauvinism. Just when the government moves towards one unified law for India, religion has become a convenient tool for the self-proclaimed gatekeepers of their own communities.
Inside the chambers of the Law Commission head, where all the practices are done, Times Now does try and capture how the work is done. In fact, right on the table here, several books that are being read by Law Commission head Justice Chauhan to understand several things on the Uniform Civil Code. While he doesn't want to speak on record, one thing is for clear. Even as the Muslim board is fighting out and saying that things should be boycotted, work happening at the Law Commission with utmost sincerity.
एक नई जंग छेड़ दी है मोदी साहब ने इस मुल्क में, और सूरत हाल ये है कि अंदरूनी जंग के लिए फिजा तैयार की जा रही है और हम सब बाइकाट करेंगे क्वेश्चनायर का जो लॉ कमीशन ने फ्लोट किया है। इस मुल्क में सदियों से लोग बसते आ रहे हैं और पर्सनल लॉ के ऊपर अमल कर रहे हैं, अपने अपनी तहजीबी रिवाज के ऊपर अमल कर रहे हैं और उसकी वजह से कोई ऊंच नीच, कोई भेदभाव, कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं हो रहा।
It is just another NGO which has a very orthodox and patriarchal worldview, and the Personal Law Board does not speak for all Muslims all over the country.
How is the Uniform Civil Code anti-Muslim?
Very notion of one nation, one law is against the mandate of our independence.
Law Commission Chairman Justice Chauhan spoke to Times Now for over an hour, giving an indication that certain religious practices could have to be amended or modified if the public say so after the questionnaire has been put out by the Law Commission.
Doing anything in the background of the communal agenda of Hindu versus Muslim may not be good and it may be disastrous.
It is on the initiative of the Supreme Court that the Government of India through Law Commission is taking the opinion of all the stakeholders.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
On debate number 2 tonight is the big debate on One Nation, One Law. Already a big response coming in from our viewers to the last debate between Nalin Kohli and Asaduddin Owaisi. And on this panel tonight against the Uniform Civil Code, I have with me John Dayal, activist, Dr. Taslim Ahmad Rahmani of the Muslim Political Council of India. Sanjay Pinto, author and journalist, is also against the Uniform Civil Code. For the Uniform Civil Code, tonight Monica Arora of the Supreme Court, Zeenat Shaukat Ali, Professor of Islamic Studies and Director General of the Wisdom Foundation, Naish Hassan of the Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan, Mrinalini Deshmukh, Senior Advocate, Rahul Ishwar, Social Activist, and Sabha also, I am told, is for the Uniform Civil Code. I want to start with you, Sabha. Are you for the Uniform Civil Code, and if so, why? Let's open up the debate with you, please, Sabha. Yeah.
Okay. Arnab, in principle, no right-thinking person can be against the idea of a uniform civil code. The issue, and I want to say one thing, that if there is to be a uniform civil code, then there's going to be a wide-ranging debate, and triple talaq, I'm absolutely against it. But the problem that comes in is when these fellows of the Muslim Personal Law Board, all of them men, may I state, who have anointed themselves as caretakers of the community, they are the ones who make it a Muslim-only issue. When they go to the public in the manner in which they do, the self-appointed keepers who insist, why are they in such a state over the triple talaq issue? Because they don't want any of their rights to be taken away. Forget the rights of women, they don't even want the argument to go there. And once we get to a uniform civil code, there will be enormous debate because it is not only a Muslim issue.
The
but
triple
please
talaq
note
issue
that
and
the men
uniform
are in
civil
a
code issue,
state.
both are different.
Who are they to decide everything?
I think this debate should be separated, it should not be mixed.
Now, am I talking or someone speaking to me? No, if you allow me to speak.
Triple talaq issue is quite different from that of the Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code encompasses so many other things.
I will shut up because you are speaking. Who are you to keep speaking? Who are you to keep speaking? The problem right now, so let me finish. Why don't you let a woman speak sometimes, sir? You have enough all-male platforms to speak in.
Don't make it a gender issue that a woman is not allowed to speak or a man is allowed to speak. What I am telling is the debate is about Uniform Civil Code. And the triple talaq issue must not be mixed with that. Both are different.
No, please, let me finish. Let me finish, sir. I can't hear what you are saying because I am speaking myself. Allow me to speak a few words. Women sometimes should be allowed to speak. They may not, they may have views you may not like, but let me speak. You know, you can accuse me of being anything, but let me speak. So the issue right now is, Arnab, they walk, all these gentlemen of the Muslim Personal Law Board, they walk into it by saying that we are now, the problem right now is if we were indeed to head towards uniform civil code, there have to be a wide-ranging debate, but they fit the stereotype, they walk in, they talk like they're paranoid, they make a simple issue into a community issue. They are the ones who've always done it, and they've been allowed to pretend to be the spokesman of the community, and some of them have
that is a point. That is a point. But I think I want to Sabha. 1 second, Taslim Rahmani. 1 second. Everyone, by the way, feel free to come in. I see the hand go up from Naish Hassan, and Naish, you know, Taslim Rahmani is there. Sanjay, coming to you. You see, Naish, why is Taslim Rahmani saying today that don't link triple talaq, don't link polygamy, right? Don't link child marriage to the issue of Muslim personal law. He's saying this because he's ashamed of these three practices, but he wants to continue it. No. He is ashamed of these three practices in heart, but he wants to continue it. Because this is the debate. This is the debate. The debate is the Uniform Civil Code, and the debate is very much the subjugation of Muslim women as well. These two issues are linked. Naish, कह रही हैं आपको कुछ? Naish, go ahead. Naish.
Arnab, Arnab, I would like to say one thing.
And I am always saying
Arnab, I would like to say one thing, that UCC
reforms within the Muslim law
is an old demand of the women's movement of India. People must know that women's movement, it's come from. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Sir, please listen to me. You must know, sir, that the UCC demand, Uniform Civil Code demand, is an old demand of the women's movement of India. It's not related to the my country, my love, my religion. It's purely related to the women's right and justice. My next question is to the panelists, that why they are overreacting on that. UCC is not related to the only Muslim community, it's related to the Sikh, Isai, Dalit and all. Then Muslim people are giving more reaction on that. It is not good.
Then ask
and I would like to ask this
why he always invite a Muslim and a Christian on this debate? Why not Sikhs and Dalits?
About this issue?
Why not other
people
communities?
Are feeling insecure about this issue, sir? Just give
Nobody
me
is feeling
answer.
insecure. We are protected by the Constitution of India.
Let draft should come.
I don't understand what is the point of
I agree with you. I agree with you.
The insecurity, Naish and Naish. One second, Naish. Sir, listen, Mr. First of all, Taslim Rahmani. One second. Taslim Rahmani, थोड़ी logical बात सोचिए. Legislation, Naish, 1 minute. Naish, a minute.
Logically.
Sir, you are talking illogically.
That I am opposing the boycott call given by the Muslim Personal Law Board.
Yeah.
Because we have to discuss the Uniform Civil Code once for all.
Yeah.
We want to demand a repeal if the country and the people did not agree for a UCC, and this is for the first time that the whole country is involved in a Uniform Civil Code debate.
Sir, the problem with you is the problem with you, sir. The problem. First of all, Mr. Taslim Rahmani, 1 minute, please. Don't speak over me, Mr. Rahmani. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad does not represent all the Hindus of India, and the Muslim Personal Law Board is not the spokesperson of 172 million Muslims in India. Be clear about that, sir. Is it? Is it in any way? Zeenat Shaukat Ali, is it? So who are these self-proclaimed people who claim to represent all Muslims in India? Zeenat Shaukat Ali, do they? Zeenat Shaukat Ali.
Arnab, the sad part is that I'm looking, what I'm looking at is that this is a gender issue. It is a gender-related issue where women must get their rights. Sharia gives them those rights. But the Muslim Personal Law Board insists that the Quran does not permit the triple talaq, or or that polygamy has to be looked at from very, very different angles, or that a 15-year-old child cannot be married, or that other laws that have come in, halala is not part of Islamic law.
No, he says he says reforms must be internal. Do you believe him? No, fundamentally, I don't believe him, because over centuries these reforms have not happened.
In India, ever since I have come to my conscious understanding,
yes,
we have been appealing to the Muslim Personal Law Board. We have been requesting them to change the laws. We have been requesting them to make the laws Quranic. These were inherited Anglo-Mohammedan customary laws, yes, and we have been saying, yes, please kindly go back to the original Sharia. And even a man like Abu Lala Maududi, who has spoken about the evolutionary process of the Muslim law. Other Muslim countries have changed, other Muslim countries have progressed, but we as a secular
what is the
democracy
why are they doing
are
this?
stuck in time.
No, why are they
That
doing
is
this? You know,
perhaps-
90, you know, I want to understand this. You know, this group of men, I want to put that picture full frame, please, and just say a couple of thoughts about it. I saw Sabha very angry in the first part of the debate, and I understand where she's coming from. Because Sabha, when I see these group of people, these self-proclaimed men, they say we are representing all Muslims. We are representing all rights of Muslims. We are the law. And we are effectively over and bigger than the Constitution of India, is the argument they present here tonight. 172 million Muslims in India, 83.9 million Muslim women in India. I'm sorry if it sounds rude, but I will say, who are these self-proclaimed religious representatives of the Muslim religion to decide the fate and what works on matters like divorce, polygamy and child marriage? Meenakshi, with 90% of Muslim women, 90% of Muslim women want an end to this discrimination. Absolutely. But these men from the Muslim Personal Law Board will have none of it. Mrinalini, that is the problem tonight. Absolutely. And they say we are representing the rights of Muslim women. I think Muslim women should say they're not. They're not. They should speak up.
Absolutely. And I think what is more important over here is that let's look at it in a holistic manner. This is not about a Muslim. This is not about a Hindu. This is not about it. What is the Uniform Code, Civil Code aiming at? It is aiming basically at gender equality. As I said earlier, it is about the Muslim sisters who have been, taken away into, say, 20 years back, 30 years back, where they cannot have their own free views, they cannot have equality, they cannot have gender justice. And today they are the ones who are rebelling. And today, why is it the Muslim Personal Law Board?
Can I tell you what they say? Para 66 and 78. 1 second, I see your hand, Rahul, and Sanjay Pinto go in, but I want to tell people how shocking the views are of this group of people. Para 66 and 78, Monica Arora, of the top Muslim Personal Board affidavit in the top court, in the most shocking and preposterous submission ever to be placed before the Supreme Court, says, Para 78 and 66, Taslim Rahmani, it says, and I repeat the following words, see, in some instances the husband may resort to illegal criminal ways of murdering her or burning her alive if he can't get rid of her.
How preposterous
it says that if Mr. Rahmani, even to put this in, Mr. Rahmani,
we don't approve, we don't endorse.
What do you mean don't approve? This is what has been written. Rahul Ishwar.
Don't approve.
No, it doesn't matter what Rahul Ishwar. You want me to accept this?
Two things.
In the name of secularism, you want us to accept this?
Accommodative approach to this. As you rightly say, we shouldn't be apologetic, but we need a very soft and accommodative approach. And I have worked with Muslim Personal Law Board people. They are nice people. Of course, we may disagree on many things.
Don't have to debate on the defensive.
Have a different point on triple talaq, on nikah halala, polygamy. UCC is a different issue. Even Arun Jaitley ji articulated the same point of Taslim Rahmani Saab, that triple talaq is a different issue, Uniform Civil Code is a different issue. We should see the issue with nuance. We need to work with them.
It's not a different issue, Rahul.
Uniform Civil Code.
Rahul, it's not a different issue.
Arun Jaitley ji.
No, it is not. It is not a different issue. It is not a different issue. No, I'll tell you why he's taking that position. I'll tell you why he's taking that position. Sorry. I see a coming together of fundamentalists. 1 second. No, 1 second, Taslim Rahmani. I know what is going on here. I know what is going on here. Monica Arora, wait. Viewers, do you know what's going on here? Taslim Rahmani, calm down. Taslim Rahmani, calm down. Calm down, Mr. Rahmani, calm down. You see, the fundamental reason today why... Mr. Rahmani, give yourself a break, please, for a minute. Mr. Rahmani, please don't do the running commentary. There are other panelists on the program. They should also have a right to speak. Mr. Rahmani, thank you. Now 1 minute, please hear others. You see, what happens is, this is a group. And the group is represented by people like Mr. Rahmani and Mr. Rahul Ishwar. They are both actually on the same side because they don't want reform. Rahul, don't speak over me. I'm telling you, no, all Hindus don't consider.
Don't allege us. We need reform.
Fundamentalists on both sides.
Much more.
What is us?
More vociferously than
what is us? Don't allege us.
Don't blame us. That we don't want.
Mr. Rahmani, I am not. Mr. Rahmani, you must now let me speak. Mr. Rahmani, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rahmani. Mr. Rahmani, thank you. You have to. Mr. Rahmani, please. Thank you. You see.
So don't blame us that we don't want reforms. We are for reforms.
Mr. Rahmani, will you please give me a minute? Thank you. Do all Hindus in India consider the VHP and the Bajrang Dal as the spokespersons of Hinduism? They don't. Do all Hindus consider Yogi Adityanath as their religious representative? No. Is the Catholic Church representative authority of all Christians in India John Dayal? Absolutely. It is not. If those Hindu priests who advocated the prohibition of women in the sanctum sanctorum of temples are not the custodians of Hindu religion, and neither are those people like Rahul Ishwar who think women should not be entered into Sabrimala, why should this All India Muslim Personal Law Board be considered a custodian of Islam in India? They're not.
Please,
my question tonight is, are Muslims in India governed by the Sharia or the Constitution? Are Hindus in India governed by Hindu religious tests or the Constitution? Are Christians governed by the Bible or the Constitution? Are Christians governed by the Bible or the Constitution? John Dayal, are they governed by the Bible or the Constitution? If all Indians are governed by the Constitution, and the Constitution is a template to be followed in all aspects of law, be it civil or criminal, why should anyone, including you, Muslim Personal Law Board, anyone, VHP, Bajrang Dal, any of you, be allowed to retain a parallel system of governance? Answer my question. It doesn't even happen in your favorite United States of America. Yes, John Dayal.
No, I was just wondering, why do people take oath on the Gita to defend the Constitution? So that answers your first question. The second question is more sober. If you remove triple talaq and want to discuss UCC, that is one thing. Because I have nothing to do with triple talaq, I oppose it. But if you're discussing the UCC, a common civil code, then many questions arise. What happens to the rights of the gay community, for instance? What happens to their rights? What happens to many other issues? Above all, why choose this time to open this report, and why is
what is this time? What is this time?
70 years?
So
what is this time? What is this time? One second. Mrinalini asked you a question.
Elections in UP.
70 years. What do you mean this time?
1984. Go and implement Uniform Civil Code. What time is right for you?
Absolutely.
Elections in
More
UP.
than 30 years. Country is waiting.
No, I am opposed. I am opposed to triple talaq. I
What you
reject
say
triple
is
talaq.
this is not the right time. What is the right time?
In my religion.
Since Shah Bano case 1985,
I am
Supreme Court has been asking you, please
I am not talking of
Uniform
triple
Civil
talaq.
Code.
I am not talking of
Supreme
triple
Court
talaq.
has been
I am
asking
not
all
talking,
the governments
I am not talking of
implement
triple
Uniform
talaq.
Civil
I am not
Code.
talking of triple
The
talaq.
Muslims
I
and
am
the
not
Christians
talking of
also
triple
went to
talaq.
the court
I am not talking
stating
of
there
triple
were
talaq.
infirmities in their family laws. They asked for change. Justice Vikramadjit Singh again said, please implement Uniform Civil Code. And what has the Law Commission asked? It has appealed to all stakeholders to initiate a process. Come over, give your input. Let us see the viability of Uniform Civil Code. What is the problem in that?
I am giving you my
join the process, give your inputs, tell them about Dalit laws, tell them about customary practices, tell them what Christian practices, Hindu practices.
Okay, here's a question.
At least join the process.
Here's a question.
If the country's government for the first time in 30 years has taken this political courage and initiative.
I think I would. Mr. John Dayal, Monica. First of all, can I request you, Monica, one second. You know, a horrible attempt has been made by John Dayal to perpetuate some communal stereotype in his introductory comments, which I think are just unacceptable. He actually said John Dayal, let me tell you, John Dayal said there that why is an oath taken on the Gita, right? This is a typical factually incorrect comment.
The Constitution. That answers your question.
Yeah, no, Mr. John Dayal, just relax a bit, you know. And
it is also taken on the back.
Yeah, so that is what it is. Under modern law, you are fully aware a witness in court or anywhere can swear an oath using a neutral statement which does not involve any particular god.
Yeah, also.
No, sir. A witness in court can swear an oath which involves a neutral statement. It does not involve any particular God, so stop giving everything a communal spin, Mr. John Dayal. It reveals your mindset.
Also.
What do you mean also? What do you mean also?
No,
it does not. That point, the fact that religion is not thrust on an individual proves that the Constitution is above every religion. Mr. John Dayal, get your facts correct. Get your facts correct.
He can swear.
No, you, and by the way, you selectively picked up the Gita. You did not pick up the Bible. You did not pick up the Quran. You selectively picked up the Gita because you want to give an impression that this is a country that believes in majoritarianism. That is the kind of rubbish that you speak before the US Congress as well. Now, Mr. John Dayal, I am moving on from you. My question to you.
Speaking rubbish.
You
are speaking rubbish.
It's all right.
You always speak rubbish. You know nothing but speaking of rubbish.
Arnab, he is known for spewing venom inside India, outside India, against India.
And you're
he is known to turn every issue into a communal issue. Look at the appeal given by Law Commission. Law Commission says, I appeal to you. Please come on. Please give your advices, your suggestions for a viable uniform civil code. It talks about Christian laws reforms, Hindu law reforms, Muslim law reforms. Look at those 16 questions.
How can you?
It never talks about imposing anything anywhere. And the Supreme Court has asked the centre for wider consultation.
Can I go to the court? Can I go to the court? Can I, when Mr. John Dayal comes back to the debate, I will. I would like to get Sanjay Pinto on the debate, please. Sanjay, so that we don't lose the strain of this debate. The fact of the matter is, and my view is, this debate is not about Hindus or Muslims or the indication that Muslim women alone are being targeted. History has witnessed Hindu women go through miserable times for centuries. So I am not here saying, oh, Hindu women have had a great time always. They've been very, the society has been very open to their rights. It has not. Hindu women have gone through miserable times for centuries owing to the practice of sati, which were widely performed under the garb of rituals. Now, Sanjay, if such deep-rooted practices can be done away with to rightfully give way to gender equality, what is the issue that holds the Muslim Personal Law Board behind and stuck in a time loop? And if the Uniform Civil Code is a way out of it to bringing in radical social change, then why should the next generation of Indians not be allowed the right to live freely under such a code? Sanjay, please, what is your principled opposition?
Okay, Arnab. First of all, I believe that we can have a uniform civil debate here without people shouting over each other. And I believe that when you meddle with religion, then you're walking on eggshells. And like the Christian community, Mr. Jaitley very rightly said, when the divorce laws of the Christians were amended in 2001, the government of the day then managed to get the Christian community along. Even now, just a few months ago, there was a proposal, in fact it's almost on the cards, to actually tweak section 10A, subsection 1 of the Divorce Act governing Christians to reduce the period of separation from 2 years to 1 year. I'm not sure if the Catholic bishops and the others are on the same page. But then I for one believe that when you tweak personal laws, it's important to get the community along. That's my point. Secondly,
but it's not impossible. One second. Sanjay, can I intervene here? Sanjay, can I intervene here? You can't soften the blow either. Sanjay, can I come in here? Sanjay, can I come in here at that point? To the point.
Universal compulsory education, the priorities.
No. Sanjay, listen. Question of priorities I'll deal with later. Monica Arora is responding. Yeah, Monica is responding and Sabah is responding. Let's get the responses. Yeah.
Taking inputs.
Yeah, one second. Let's get the responses very quickly.
May I state here?
Yeah.
It's not always that a community comes forward.
Lose. I mean, the 16 questions.
If you see, in 1956, Hindu Code Bill was formed and 4 laws were enacted regarding Hindus. There was stiff opposition from Hindus. Still, the 4 laws were enacted and 80% of population came under codified law. It gave right to maintenance to Hindu women. It gave right to divorce to Hindu women. Polygamy was done away with. Custody rights were given to Hindu women. Widow remarriage was given in full. So when Hindu women could gain out of those codified laws in 1956.
Very good point. Very good point. Very good. Taslim Rahman is responding. Let's cut it quickly, please.
Taslim. Like the Hindu code bill, why the government of India didn't come out with a Muslim code bill?
Why can't it be the same
in the same way and manner?
Yes, Mr. Rahmani.
Why the government didn't come out with a Muslim court bill like it come out with Hindu court bill?
The Supreme Court has asked the government of...
No, watch. Just one point. Monica Arora.
And what they are saying, please come
Monica Arora, let's not speak over each other. You make a point. 1 second. Taslim Rahmani, don't repeat your point. Taslim Rahmani, don't repeat your point. It does not help. Just wait a while. Repeating your point does not make your point stronger.
That Article 44 is only a directive principle of state policy. It is not justiciable.
Mr. Rahmani.
Article 26 on freedom of religion is a fundamental right that is guaranteed, not just granted.
Yes, but you must understand. Don't mix this with the freedom of religion. Sanjay, don't mix this with the freedom of religion. And I'll tell you why. This may be a flawed argument because our country has witnessed many social changes at various intervals in our history. Societies change, thinkings change, you become progressive, you look back and say what we did in the past was wrong, and therefore these changes happens at various intervals to change regressive practices, regressive laws. Sanjay, what I'm simply...
Nuns give out communion. There was a time when mass was said... There was a time when
Sanjay,
not the altar.
Okay, Sabha is back. I'll come to you. Sabha is back. Sanjay, you're not listening to me. Sanjay, all I'm saying, with however difficulty, Sabha, just give me a minute to make one point. Understand, I am only arguing for change. I am a great believer in change, and change has happened in this country at a long time. There was a Bengal Sati Regulation Act 1829, Widow Remarriage Act 1856. What did the Widow Remarriage Act do? It allowed a woman the ambit to lead a life of happiness and fulfillment even after her husband had died. Dowry Prohibition Act was brought in 1961. Some people could have said that Hindus have practiced dowry for years, but Dowry Prohibition Act was brought in to safeguard the exploitation of women. Child marriage was stopped. And as far as the Hindu Code Bill was concerned, the Hindu Code Bill, for your kind information, Mr. Taslim Rahmani, has not been averse to reform and amendment, because in 2005 daughters were given an equal right in properties as the son. Co-pasana properties as the son. No. At that time, At that time, a group of chauvinistic Hindus could have come forward and said, "Do not make the changes in the Hindu Code Bill. You are trampling over the Hindu religion." They didn't say that. Did they say that? Mrinalini.
May I serve with utmost respect?
Yeah,
the rights of inheritance, the co-passionary rights of a girl born in a Hindu family, her rights over the joint family assets, her rights of inheritance, her rights of maintenance, her rights of remarriage, her rights of adoption. Do you know the Hindu Adoption Maintenance Act says that even a single woman can adopt a child to this? These are the progressive laws which are
not just that. The Supreme Court in November 2015 also ruled that a Hindu widow can claim absolute rights on maintenance property. Some chauvinistic Hindus could have come and said, "Oh, you are interfering in the Hindu religion." The Delhi High Court, for your information, Mr. Rahmani, you must go deep, therefore, had ruled in February this year that the eldest... No, sir, please don't mix religion with rights. Religion must not be mixed. Religion cannot be mixed with rights. I think here what is happening is a group of men are afraid they will lose their rights over property, and they will lose their control over the family, and they will not be allowed to carry polygamy. They will not be allowed to marry girls at the age of 15. They will not be able to do triple talaq, and they are justifying it. And have 4 wives. You ask him.
You want to have the luxury of having 4 wives?
You ask him.
Please let me know, is this what you're looking for? Is this exactly what you want? You want a man can have 4 wives. A wife, unless she's divorced, she cannot get remarried. She can't start her life.
But a man can have 4 wives.
A man can have 4 wives. Where is this logic coming from?
Nowhere.
Please may I know that? And the Muslim woman will have to be maintained, has to go back to her parents, to the waqf board, and the husband is absolved of his liabilities.
Unacceptable.
The Hindu law says it is the duty of the husband, if the woman is unable to maintain herself, to take care of her, have the same standard of living that they were living as husband and wife, and give her that status which is there. This is the reforms that we are looking at through the Uniform Civil Code.
Zinat is also saying, Zinat, go ahead. Zinat ji, go on. Yeah, go on. Go on, Mr. Rahmani.
Mr. Rahmani Sahab, you see, the Muslims also had the opportunity at several stages to bring about changes. As a matter of fact, Dr. Tahir Mahmood, who is an expert and whose book I study is the Bible really, and when the laws were made, I circulated my books. I pleaded with people. Dr. Rafiq Zakaria launched my second book. Shankar Dayal Sharma and launched my first book. So please understand that where were we sleeping and why were we not awake to bring the actual Islamic laws into practice, which do not permit child marriage, which do not permit triple talaq. I want to finish, please, Rahmani sahab.
She is questioning your intentions.
मेरी बात सुन लीजिए, please. ये सब चीजें जो थी, वो अभी भी आप, when the Law Commission has sent questions, we should be answering those questions. Whether we disagree or we agree, we have to behave like rational human beings and logically go by what, the Law Commission is an intelligently appointed commission.
And this is so.
And why are we not doing this? And why are we not? Why did we not bring about these changes? नहीं, एक last statement I want to make. ये नौबत आप अपने आप पे लाए हो।
बिल्कुल।
ये नौबत आप अपने आप पे लाए हो कि आज ये चीज आपके सामने खड़ी हुई है। It should have been done like, was the Muslim person law board asleep? Was the Muslim person law board not aware of what was going on? I tried to approach many people, begged them and said, look, restore Islam to its pristine purity and dignity. And do not allow such laws which are not a part of Islam.
Naish Hassan is also speaking a word from Lucknow. Taslim Rahmani, मान जाइए आप जब उन्होंने कहा ये नौबत आप अपने आप पर लाएं क्योंकि इतने सैकड़ों सालों से आपने सोचा था कि मुस्लिम महिलाओं को दबा के रखेंगे, अब नहीं कर पा रहे आप तस्लीम रहमानी, इसलिए आप फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो रहे हैं। नाइश हसन प्लीज कुछ कह रहे हैं लखनऊ से। नाइश हसन इज को-फाउंडर ऑफ द भारतीय मुस्लिम महिला आंदोलन। गो अहेड नाइश, गो अहेड, बोलिए, खुलकर बोलिए, खुलकर बोलिए इन लोगों पर।
I would like to remind one important thing. I would like to remind one important thing to Mr. Rahmani. Please listen, Mr. Rahmani.
Not the Uniform Civil Code.
Nice, Hassan, go on.
Please listen.
Quran must be restored.
Mr. Rahmani.
The Quranic law is very clear about this divorce.
I would like to remind you one thing.
Mr. Rahmani, listen to her.
उसका इलाज यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड नहीं है। मुस्लिम पर्सन लॉ बोर्ड के लोग इस तरीके से कुरान का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं।
मिस्टर रहमानी,
आपका ऑब्जेक्शन क्या है?
कुछ ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है।
ऑब्जेक्शन क्या है मिस्टर रहमानी? Why do you not want a uniform civil code?
कोई जवाब नहीं।
Why do you not want my Muslim women sisters to have equal rights as the Hindu women or the other community? आपका प्रॉब्लम क्या है? प्लीज बताइए।
मुझे क्या पूछना है, आप उनको जवाब देने दीजिए, आप सुन तो लीजिए।
प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
आप बताइए, आप इस डिबेट में सिखों को क्यों नहीं बुलाते, नागास को क्यों नहीं बुलाते, राभा को क्यों नहीं बुलाते, साउथ इंडियन
क्योंकि आज ऑल इंडिया इसका जवाब ये है। नहीं आप Naish Hassan is saying something. No, Naish Hassan is saying something. 1 second please. Naish Hassan from Lucknow must be allowed to speak. Naish, go on.
Yes. Mr. Rahmani, please listen one thing. I would like to remind you one thing. You people are claiming that you are doing lot of work for the Muslim community. But since 1937, there is a Sharia Application Act 1937, but till today there is no ruling of that act. So you people have not done any work. You have one book, Majmua-e-Qawaneen-e-Islami, and it's written by your own personal law board people, and they are using their own law and they are forcing to implement on 1937 Sharia Application Act.
Still
there is no ruling. It's a failure of government, and the failure is the failure of government and failure of personal law board. It's a failure of personal. What I did, I will tell you, we people are raising the voice of the Muslim women. You have not done a single work for the Muslim community. Still 1937, you did not write a ruling. You did not put a pressure on the government to write a ruling on that law. still there is no ruling of that law. So what you have done for the community, and you people are claiming that you are doing lots of work for the community, and you are the representative. You people are not representative of the Muslim women.
Her name is, no, don't patronize her. Her name is, no, one Taslim Rahmani. Taslim Rahmani, I would say, Mr. Rahmani, with confidence. With confidence. No, 1 second, Mr. Rahmani. Mr. Rahmani, it's better that you know who she is. Mr. Taslim Rahmani, Mr. Rahmani, I'm surprised you don't know, because 1 minute you don't speak over me now. Her name is Naish Hassan. She is, no, 1 second, Mr. Rahmani, 1 minute. Her name is Naish Hassan. She is the co-founder of the Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan, and I can tell you with confidence that she represents 83 million Muslim women more than you do, Mr. Rahmani. आप ये समझ जाइए, आप नहीं है उनको represent करने वाले. That's my point tonight. Sabha is also there. Sabha, will this? So Sabha, you tell me today. Sabha, Rahul Ishwar, what's your point? Rahul, what's your point? What's your objection, Rahul? Rahul, what's your point? First to Rahul.
There is still a space for negotiation and
negotiate. You want to negotiate.
Don't outrightly condemn Muslim Personal Law Board.
There you see, all fundamentalists of the world unite.
We still have space to meaningfully engage.
This is called fundamentalists of the world unite.
Can I make one, Rahul, Mr. Rahmani, I have one point.
Alienate them. Please don't do this.
This is called fundamentalists of the world unite. Rahul Ishwar joins hands with the Muslim Personal Law Board.
This is being Indian and this is being sensitive.
This is Rahul Ishwar joining hands with the Muslim Personal Law Board. Headline of the day.
Be sensitive to everybody, women. Can I just, Arnab, let me say
the common thing between Rahul Ishwar and the Muslim Personal Law Board is that both of them want to subjugate women.
Understand each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sabha, go on.
Exactly. Now, Rahul, let me speak. Arnab, I think we must make a very important point. This becomes an issue where law, tradition, religion, everything is thrown in. But let me just say one thing. From triple talaq, on the issue of triple talaq, the law board has become so paranoid that when Mr. Rahmani asks that why don't you bring in the Parsis, why don't you bring in this religion, why don't you bring in that religion, fair enough. But before anyone can do anything, these fellows have jumped in and said there is a war upon them. And this is precisely what they did
Pinto.
On the Muslim
Pinto last word.
Shabano judgment, and we all know what happened. So they're going to do it.
As I said earlier,
their own paranoid, they want to hang on to the turf. They're going to do it again, and Mr. Rahmani will go on and speak for them again, and all these men will unite to protect their little turfs because they have nothing else to offer. That is the political dynamics in which these fellows are playing. So forget about discussing interpretation of laws. We have not even gone there. You say one thing, a few group of Muslim women go to the Supreme Court, and there is a petition that moves, and look at how paranoid they are. They are saying it's a Muslim issue. We are not saying it. These fellows are saying it.
Well, Sabha, I think they've...
I mean, what can I say?
Sabha, I think nothing can stop...
I'm ashamed.
No, as they say, okay, I'll give a word to... I have to close. I have to give a word to Sanjay, please. Yeah, Sanjay, briefly. Yeah. Sanjay, I'm coming here.
Arnab, I am not against any progressive piece of legislation. All I am saying is that when you tweak personal laws involving religions, it's important to take the communities along, like the government did in 2001 with regard to the Christian Divorce Act, and like they're doing now. I don't know if they've got the bishops and the Christian community as a whole along, but it seems to be a rather practical piece of an amendment where they want to reduce the period of separation from 2 years to 1 year. However, the initial law, when it was framed, actually wanted to discourage divorce, which is why they made it difficult to get a divorce
yeah, okay. 2 years. But you know, we are on the broader issue. We can look at the weekend. One thing which has come out clearly today. One thing which is coming out clearly to me today. Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. Point number one. Times are changing. Laws change. Society changes. John Dayal, Taslim Rahmani, deal with it. I thank you both. Okay, Zinat Shaukat Ali, 10 seconds.
When Turkey introduced certain laws from all the countries, Turkey is the only Muslim country that adopted the Swiss code. And when it introduced the Swiss code, it had written to all the clergy, and when the clergy did not respond, the Swiss code was brought into existence. Now, my question is this. Did that conflict with Islamic law?
Absolutely
not. Did that justice which was given to women conflict with the Islamic law? It did not.
It cannot.
Because it gave, as a matter of fact, they said...
I think the only people it conflicts with...
The conditions for polygamy were unrealizable.
Yeah, closing. I just want to say that it conflicts only with certain established patterns of power ruled by men who are chauvinists and who want to continue to repress women for a long period of time. I thank you all for joining me on this fantastic debate number 2 on the News Hour tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
The News Hour at 10 with Arnab Goswami will be right.